The first thing you need to do is decipher whether your lawn is dormant or dead. If it's dormant, it should be fine and should green up in the fall. A dead lawn, like this field, won't come back and will need to be reseeded.
Turns brown or straw-like colored, and then if it doesn't get the conditions to recover from that dormancy, it dies. To revive this patch, it's going to need some renovation, some seeding, some top dressing and stuff to grow new grass.
When mowing, leave the clippings on the lawn, unless they're real clumpy, and then run the mower over them a second time. Keep the blade sharp and raise the mowing height as the taller grass shades the soil.
Put your lawnmower on the driveway or on the garage floor, measure from the ground up to the bottom of the deck. If it's around 3.5 inches, that's good. Let it grow, mow it tall, and make sure your lawnmower blade's sharp. If your lawnmower blade's dull, if you haven't sharpened it in months or ever, it's going to tear the tips of the grass and they'll dehydrate and turn like a whitish or brown color.
It's a good idea to get the layer of thatch down to a ½ inch or so. If it's too thick, the water can't get to the roots of the grass.
In this case, this would be okay. You'd call that maybe a ½ inch or so of thatch, and it pulls apart very easily. So the water and the fertilizer you apply won't have any problem getting through this thatch and down into the soil profile here where the roots are.
Dethatching, though, is not recommended in a drought. The best time for that is early spring. Core aeration is another way to help with a complete lawn resurrection. Otherwise, it's best to leave that till spring and fall. And it's also not a good time for overseeding. Best to wait until end of August to mid-September. Avoid the temptation to apply herbicides, even though the wretched weeds become even more obvious on a patchy lawn. And what's with that anyway? Why don't they die too? Weed killer can become ineffective on drought-stressed weeds and can also damage the remaining grass. Another thing to avoid on a drought-stressed lawn, fertilizer, unless you can find one with reduced nitrogen and increased potassium.
The potassium is the ingredient that gives the grass resiliency and strength against stresses, in this case probably hot, dry weather. We use a fertilizer here, these little green pellets, that's polymer coated, so it is very slow to dissolve and release the nutrients. So you can apply it in the drought. It needs very little water to activate. When it does, it gives the lawn some nutrients to use when it comes out of its dormant state.
One of the best things you can do to a brown or damaged lawn is to top dress it. There really isn't a bad time for that, and it has a world of benefit.
It's going to add some compost or some material to the surface of your lawn so that when you do put the water on, the idea is to try to retain that moisture and let your lawn use it instead of having it sift through your soil profile. Not getting wet. That should be reaching all the way to that head.
Inspection of your sprinkler heads is critical. In fact, the dead spot in this field is caused by a head that isn't level and didn't hit its target.
It's not much, maybe, 10 degrees or so, but it's enough that it's shooting the water too high and too far one way, and when it rotates around, it's too low and not far enough the other way. It's a pretty simple fix. We can do it while the water's running even. Put a bit of the dirt down there to hold it up straight so it doesn't settle back. Get it perfectly vertical and then put your turf back.
Even with Kelowna's watering restrictions now in effect, it should make no difference to your irrigation schedule. Watering deeply but infrequently is the trick.
You're looking for about a ½ inch of water in the cup each time that you irrigate the lawn. If you do that every second day, you're looking at 1.5 inches a week, and that should be plenty to keep your grass green in the summertime.
Overwatering can cause even more damage than underwatering. The good news is most lawns and fields, even ones that start out like this, can be fixed, and in most cases will green up in the fall when the nights get cooler.